السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أهلا بكم إلى هذه الحلقة من برنامج من الداخل عبر الميادين. معكم زينب صفار. لعل عدم المساواة العرقية والإثنية يلوح في أفق المجتمع الأمريكي بشكل صارخ اليوم، كذلك تتغلغل الفوارق العرقية عميقا في نظام العدالة الجنائية وتقوض فعاليته. الكثير حول العالم شاهد اللحظات الأخيرة من حياة الشاب الأمريكي من أصول أفريقية أحمد آربري في ولاية جورجيا، الذي كان يمارس رياضة العدو صباحا عندما هاجمه رجلان أبيضان مسلحان بالبنادق، وبعد صراع ولكمات أطلقا 3 طلقات أودت بحياة هذا الشاب اليافع. وبالأمس انتشر على نطاق واسع مقطع فيديو لرجل أسود مكبل اليدين وعاري الصدر طريحا تحت عجلة السيارة يئن ويموت ببطء بينما يشثو ضابط من شرطة مينيابوليس بدم بارد وعنوة على رقبته لأكثر من 5 دقائق. هذا الشريط أثار عاصفة جديدة في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية بسبب معاملة الشرطة الأمريكية الهمجية والقاسية والظالمة للأميركيين من أصول أفريقية. وعلق بعض المراقبين بالقول: أن تكون أسود في أمريكا لا ينبغي أن يعني ذلك عقوبة الإعدام. إذن عمليات الإعدام خارج إطار القانون ومن دون محاكمة أو حتى من دون أي تهمة هي تذكير آخر بالعنصرية البشعة والمقيتة والحية والنشطة في أجزاء من الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية اليوم. ولعل كسل النظام القضائي وعدم تحركه بسرعة في هذه الحالة هما دليل قاطع على الامتيازات العنصرية الفاضحة لأصحاب البشرة البيضاء والتي تنتشر في جميع أنحاء هذا البلد ومؤسساته. لمقاربة هذه التطورات المؤلمة وغير الإنسانية من الداخل، يطيب لنا أن نستقبل من ولاية إلينوي المربية الأستاذة غايل فرازير، رئيسة MBAC شيكاغو أي اتحاد الأجندة السوداء الوطنية والقيادية ضمن ائتلاف القادة الأميركيين من أصول أفريقية كول. Dr. Gail Frazier, chairperson of the National Black Agenda Consortium, MBAC Chicago, educator, civil engineer, social entrepreneur, author, and certified clinical trauma professional. Welcome to Min al-Dakhil from the inside, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on today.
It's pure pleasure to have you, ma'am. Well, Dr. Gail, after the shooting and killing of Michael Brown, a teenager in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014, that has sparked national outrage, today Black men still face the highest risk of being lynched by police. The most recent incidents were that of Ahmaud Arbery in Glynn County, Georgia, and the deliberate asphyxiation of George Floyd. Not to forget Eric Garner, Breonna Taylor, Oscar Grant, Philando Castile, and Trayvon Martin, among others. The Black Lives Matter protest movement grew out of that moment, and debate continues about how and why people of color are targets for police violence. Why, in your opinion, ma'am?
Well, as many people, if they don't know, I'll be pleased to share with you the fact that white supremacy racism, especially for people of African descent, has been and is continuously tormenting and terrorizing individuals in this country. This has been going on since the onset. And now with the advent and the move of social media, we see, and other people are able to see, all of the wicked and atrocious things that have been done and continue to be done against us as a people, against our Black men, against the entire family unit. So this is why this is such a terrible, terrible situation. And I really appreciate the fact that you all have chosen to address this, because we're trying to seek help from outside of this country because we're not getting any help within this country. So thank you very much for picking up the gauntlet to pursue this matter.
This is our duty, ma'am. It's a pure humanitarian issue, and we should all stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters everywhere across the globe, also in the US of A. Now, today about 100,000 young black men have the highest risk of being killed by police. And this is according, of course, to a recent study by a prominent research center. This study shows us that police killings are deeply systematic, with race, gender, and age patterning this excess cause of death. In your opinion, ma'am, what drives these patterns? Why are they afraid of young and black men and women? I mean, being black in America should not be a death sentence.
Well, you know, there are several different reasons, but I would say in particular, if anyone knows the history of the police, at the transplantation of the Africans here, the police have been, and they are considered slave catchers. This has been in the mindset of many of our police officers, and this continues to go on throughout the years, throughout the decades, and nothing has changed. And while I will not just put all of the police officers in this particular bracket, however, how unfortunate it is when so many of them they're so wicked and they come against our people because of the extreme hatred that they have on the inside. And as a result, because we do not have justice in this country, that is one of the main reasons. While the police officers get free, they don't get charged. If they do get charged, they get acquitted. And this government continues to support the evil and the wickedness that these individuals have been doing and continue to do against us as a people.
But ma'am, how do you explain this hate that they have inside towards people of your communities?
Well, you know, the thing is that how do you explain hate? That's the thing. How do you explain hate? All I know is that it's deep-seated and it's evil. And many of them hate us because that's who they are. And because they have lost their humanity, they become totally inhumane. They function as brute beasts. And so if you look at them and you consider their acts as being brutish and that they behave as beasts, then that's what they become. And so their hatred has been vented against our people since we've been here. And again, we've had no reprieve. The injustices, the mass incarceration, the at-will shooting, all of those things continue to blight our people, and we're crying out for help.
Now, for example, there is a statement that reads, no more talking without action. We must come together to educate, organize, and mobilize. There is legislation on the table and laws have been passed to help our communities. So reads the statement of the MBAC, the National Black Agenda Consortium. How many wild black deaths will it take until the racial profiling and undervaluing of black lives by police finally ends, Dr. غايل?
You know, that is an excellent question, too. You're asking some very key questions. Right now, there are people all over the country in various pockets coming together to galvanize, to make a difference. Of course, you know, we, for the most part, are nonviolent people. Even though the media will portray us as being vicious and violent, it's the other way around. And so, however, I do have to say that the people have gotten to the point where they no longer want to continue to allow us to be beaten down and murdered. As a matter of fact, there are a group of individuals who are talking about sovereignty, having our own nation, having our own country, because of the fact that we cannot coexist peacefully with these individuals. And so as a result, this is really causing some serious problems. And, you know, I hate to think of what may happen in the very near future.
Right. Allow us, Dr. غايل, to stop now for a short break, and then afterwards we'll continue to talk about perhaps the language that is being used in approaching such a matter. But after the break, إذا فاصل قصير ونعود. لا تذهبوا بعيدا. Dr. Gail Frazier, chairperson of the National Black Agenda Consortium, MBAC Chicago. Welcome back from the inside, ma'am.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Well, Dr. Gail, don't you think that you need to make those vigilantes who are killing young Black Americans afraid to do something like this to other people? Because until you do that, this is going to continue to happen.
Well, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, right now, the anger and the rage, as I don't know if you get a chance to see everything, but the anger and the rage is I would say it's like a powder keg now. Individuals are to the point that they're no longer going to take this just willful, wantonly, you know, killing Black people, Black men because of their fears, because of their hatred. So I agree with you. At some point, it's going to have to come to an head. Now, my desire is that we can come together and reason. However, it's so unfortunate because it seems as if they are individuals that you cannot reason with. That's the reason why our cry is so loud now, because people are no longer going to continue to take these vicious attacks. As you can see, the news media is carrying the information, and oftentimes the news media is skewed in what they present. But people are not going to continue to allow our people just to be shot down like dogs and everything is okay. That end is coming very soon. So it's a powder keg. That's what I have to say.
Now, Dr. Gail, as a certified clinical trauma professional, how do such premeditated police killings affect Black Americans' mental health? What would it take to overcome the damaging effects of structural racism and ensure a more equitable future?
Well, as far as Black people, we've been traumatized since we've been here in this very country. And the issue for the trauma has been sustained. It's ongoing. We never have times of peace while we've been in this country. It's consistent. And it's in every faction of government and every way of life. So as a result of that, our young people our young people in particular are in a heightened state of intense fear, and as a result they act in rage and do things against each other, which is called internalized oppression. Now, one of the things that we are working on in terms of trying to help our people, you know, is to make sure that we as a community provide supports for them. But the only problem is that these continuous things have just totally exacerbated the whole problem. We have petitioned the UN, as a group of people, in addition to petitioning the UN. We, again, as I said, have been working on trying to become sovereign nations. We have done so many things throughout the pockets and times that we've been in this country, but to no avail. And so this is one of the main problems that we have. Our people are mentally ill. And when we get on the news, the news media, because they're controlled by white supremacist bigots, the news media will spin the web that the Blacks are the ones that's going around terrorizing people and doing this and doing that to people to incite fear in other people. As a result of that, these same people who are the ones who are actually the terrorists, and this is always what I say, when people call other individuals the terrorists, I say, no, they're not our terrorists, you are terrorists. So the ones that's here are the ones that's terrorizing everybody else. And this is continuing the plight of the trauma, and it has to end. It has to end.
It has
to end. So we're
end.
doing what we can.
It has to end. It has to end, ma'am. We support this. We are pro this, definitely. But also, in a similar vein, the old African-American aphorism, quote, when white America catches a cold, Black America gets pneumonia, has a new morbid twist today. When white America catches the coronavirus, Black Americans die. So the deadly legacy of inequality also permeates into the healthcare sector, as the COVID-19 pandemic is devastating Black communities across the U.S. Almost 1/3 of the infections nationwide have affected Black Americans, according to data from the Centers for Disease Control, though Blacks represent only 13% of the U.S. population. Also, likewise, nearly 1/3 of those who have died across the country are Black. Why Dr. Gail, is the impact so outsized on African Americans? Why are the Black communities the hardest hit, disproportionately affected by the coronavirus?
Because the Black communities have always been neglected. They have money set aside in the government that we actually supposed to have because we pay taxes too. However, all of the monies go to the rich white communities and the other communities, and the monies are used in that particular area. As a result, they see Black people as disposable. They do not care about us. They never have cared about us. And the few people who do care about us, they are not willing to vocalize it to the extent that it needs to be done. Case in point, I always tell everybody that the white churches, and I'll say that in particular, should be at the forefront of contending with this wickedness, because they, for the most part, have been responsible for permitting and allowing this to happen even from the onset since we were brought here. And they sit silent, and they may have a few that'll speak out, but the vast majority of them say nothing pertaining to this wickedness that in many cases they have brought about themselves. So I just wanted to bring that in just for the record.
If those people are going to stay silent, I mean, others should not be silent anymore. I mean, this is taking place, these incidents, these extrajudicial killings are taking place every now and then on a one single day, here and there across the whole US of A. So they ought to stop this. Allow me here to highlight the language even, the matter of the language which is used in reference to the African American victims. Without being completely aware of it, journalists are using the phrase, and I've read lots of articles and listened also to lots of videotapes. They said that an unarmed Black man to indicate an episode in the wide arc of unjustified violence by white people against Black people. Why is it important that the assailant was white and the victim was Black? What do you mean by unarmed? Are the shooters claiming to believe the victim had a weapon? If so, what kind of weapon? Would the victim being armed have justified the killing? Would you use the same term to describe a white person? If not, why is it about a false assumption that Black people are more likely to be criminals?
Well, you know, again, we have been criminalized in this country. We've been criminalized, and they use this tactic to justify their evil and their wickedness. No, look, you have to understand, we're talking about some very evil and wicked people. They're very corrupt, and the things that they do exemplify who they are. So having said this, they say unarmed Black men, and many times they are unarmed because of the fact that a lot of them are considered ex-felons. And when you're an ex-felons, the law says that you can't carry a weapon. So they use this in addition to the narrative. They say, oh, they were thugs, gangbangers, this, that. They use all of this negative, narratives to speak about our people, in particular, our young men. But I have to say, a vast majority of our young men, they can't even carry guns. So for them to do that, it's just a ploy and a tactic that they use to justify their continuous and perpetual evil, murders, killings, lynchings, all of the things that they continue to do to keep our people in fear and terror. And I agree with you. Other people are supposed to stand up. I think about Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King, when he talked about Dr. Martin Luther King talked about the appalling silence of the good people. So we have these individuals, so-called good individuals, who remain silent over the plight of individuals who have been in this country many, many times, and in most cases, longer than they have been in this country, yet they are still silent.
Right. Allow me to ask you my last question, Dr. Gail. Well, in June 1966 marks the beginning of the movement that changed the nation and the world, that is the Black Power. And of course, the many movements and events that it set in motion and inspired, like Black Lives Matter. One last word on how to further the Black agenda today, ma'am.
Well, our mantra is we educate, organize, and mobilize. So our position is to make sure that the masses of people are educated. And once they're educated to the truth, then we organize according to the National Black Agenda document that we are presently updating again. We organize the people and then we mobilize for action. And so right now, as we're speaking, many of these things are taking place now, that we're organizing. We're trying to get as many people boots on the ground to do this grunt work and to continue to vocalize our concerns to the legislator, vocalize our concern to those that are in position of power and those who do not want to do what's right. We're going to continue to stay out here. We will not be defeated. We will not give in. We will not kowtow down. We will continue to press in until these yokes of bondage are destroyed off of the lives of our people. And so that's the position that we take. We're fearless in this, and we're going to continue on. And so, as I said before, I thank you for having a wilderness and, as you said, a humanitarian effort to come forth and expose the lies of this wicked, evil disease that has permeated this nation since its onset. And while this nation tries to be the moral agent for the world, it has so much blood on their hands. It's innocent blood that has been shed and continue to share. So God is certainly going to judge this nation for the continual wickedness that it does against this people.
Bless your heart, ma'am. Dr. Gail Frazier, chairperson of the National Black Agenda Consortium, MBAC Chicago, a member of the Coalition of African American Leaders. Many thanks, ma'am, for your precious insights.
Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. والشكر لكم مشاهدينا الكرام على طيب المتابعة. لتفاعل أكثر تابعونا على صفحات السوشيال ميديا من كل فريق عمل برنامج من كل الميادين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.